Tips with Tony. Tips with Tony. All about nutrition from your favorite dietitian. Everything you need to digest in your mind. Tips with Tony. Tips with Tony. Making you healthier one bite at a time. With Tony. Woo.
Hello and welcome to the Tips with Tony podcast. I'm Tony Marinucci, your registered dietitian, helping you get healthy one bite at a time. Today, we are talking about the real, the raw, the messy middle. How many of you had started out on a journey super excited, super gung-ho, super inspired, super motivated, super ready to take action, convincing yourself that this is going to be the way and nothing's going to stop you? But then midway through, you're like, what the hell? This is hard. This is really, really hard. Like, I'm not quite sure I can do this. Is it worth it? Do I even want this? Do I even like what I'm doing? Like, what is happening here? And 9 times out of 10, I would say that that's so normal. I will actually say most of the time it's normal. The times that I think it's okay to quote unquote quit and give up are the times when maybe the methods that you're trying are very unrealistic and not sustainable. So in regards to, doing like a crash diet or a fad diet or a cleanse or a detox, like, yeah, you got to get through the suck and the hard, but like you shouldn't have to. Like you really shouldn't have to. It's not necessary. Depending on your goals, whether it's health related or sustainable weight loss or whatever it is, you don't have to do the sucky things in order to get there. At the same time, even through sustainable methods, just by, incorporating balanced meals, hydrating with water, honoring your hunger and fullness cues, actually being okay with the scale not moving really quickly, right? It's still going to be hard, right? It's kind of like you choose your hard, right? So you want to have it be hard and like that you have no energy, and you're obsessing over food all the time and you hate the way that you look in the mirror? Or do you want it to be hard in the sense that like it's a little bit uncomfortable, you have to like make some compromises, you might have to work out when you don't want to, or go to bed when you want to watch that extra show on Netflix or whatever it is, like it might be, you might not be seeing progress right away, which you're used to, right? So the middle is going to be hard regardless, because in the beginning, like I said before, we have all this excitement, we're ready to take action, things are exciting, but like our motivation fades. It always does. That's very normal. This is why actually in the 6 months of Food Freedom program, we work on those small changes. So you help build momentum so that you never really feel like the highs and the lows. I mean, don't get me wrong. People are still struggling, and that's what we're there for, is to support them and to help them push through. But they're out of the extremes that it's not a ton of ups and downs. It's more so life is normally has ups and downs, and we just help them kind of like, make the bump not so rocky, if that makes sense. So regardless though, the middle is going to be tough. And if you really want why, you always have to go back to kind of why you started. I know it's cliche. You probably have heard this 1,000 times, but the why is really important. Not just like the superficial why, not just like your first why, but like the why behind the why behind the why. Like you really got to go deep in understanding what was the purpose of getting into this in the first place. And believe it or not, as much as you would think I created this podcast episode from a place of inspiration from clients and like where they might be struggling in the messy middle. It's actually related to kind of my journey as I decided to take real estate classes to become a real estate agent as a second career. In addition to keeping my business up afloat and thriving and exciting and all the things, I also want to do more in my life. I think becoming an entrepreneur and starting my own business really opened up my eyes and ears to the possibilities in life. And I'm really, really looking forward to other opportunities and other things. And so I decided to become a real estate agent. And at first I was super excited. It was so crystal clear that this is what I was meant to do. And I signed up for the classes, and I didn't realize that the classes are Monday through Thursday from 6 o'clock at night to 9 o'clock at night on Zoom. We get one 15-minute break, and I love the instructors. They're teaching me a lot, but when I tell you that it is the most boring class I've ever taken in my entire life, I am not kidding. I'm literally not kidding. The instructors basically read from the textbook, or just kind of talk to you from reading from the slides. It is beyond boring. It's actually quite dreadful. I'm not going to lie. Some classes are better than others, but after a long day of work and a long day of managing a team and a long day of doing what things I need to do for Tips with Tony, and also managing a household and cooking and cleaning and all the things. Unfortunately, I have, a great amount of support system, from my boyfriend and picking up some of the slack. It's still a lot. It's a lot to manage. Think about fitting in, 3 times 4, 12 plus hours of, schooling into your day in addition to all you already have to do. Like, it's a lot. And I know that many of you listening to this probably can relate, whether you are working 2 jobs or going to school or, working a working mom, all the things. Like, you can probably relate to that a lot. And that sometimes you're just like, how can I fit it all in a day? And you'll also notice that last week I actually didn't post any podcasts because I was feeling overwhelmed and I needed a minute to kind of ground myself. And I didn't want to just put out content just to put out content, and it wasn't kind of real, raw, authentic, or honest, right? I needed a break, so I gave myself a break. And so I think this is, I always do a side tangent sidebar lesson. The sidebar lesson is you can do all the things and you're still doing all the things, but you don't need to do all the things in one day or in 1 week or even in 1 month, right? So things can shift. So it was like a few weeks ago, I talked about you can do it all, and you really genuinely can. You can have 2 jobs. You can go to school and work. You can be a parent and work. You can do all the things. You can literally run a business, run a side hustle, volunteer your time, all the things. You can do whatever you want to do in life. Sky is the absolute limit. At the same time, being realistic, your energy is your best asset, and you need to protect the heck out of that thing, right? And so I decided last week to just take a break from podcasting, to just give my mind a break and have kind of one less thing that I needed to get done that week. And you guys get to choose. And that's what was my message a few weeks ago. Like, you truly get to choose. It is what it is. Okay. Now I'm here recording this and everything's better. So anyways, back to the episode of this, the podcast episode of what I'm trying to share here is the messy middle. Is I had thoughts like during the classes, like last week, I was like, is this even worth it? Like, why am I doing this? Like, this is a lot of work. And also I have to study, by the way. I have to find time to study because I have to take 2 tests. So not only am I listening to this boring lectures, for 3, sometimes next week we have classes till 10 o'clock at night. I don't understand how these people don't value sleep. We have classes till 10 o'clock at night. So 4 hours on Zoom. And it's just yes, it's a cram course and I'll be done, by the end of June. I should have my license, hoping I pass the test. But in addition to going to school, I actually also have to study so that I don't want to have to take the course over again. I don't want to have to, prolong the situation. So I do want to pay attention and all the things. So all that to say, I was kind of having these thoughts and I'm like, oh, is this even worth it? Like, what if I don't pass? Or what if, this is stupid? Maybe I really should be doing what I need to be doing for, maybe I need to really just be putting more into Tips with Tony and blah, blah, blah. All the negative thoughts came in and I had to take a step back and I needed to remind myself that it is going to be 110% worth it. I decided to do this for multiple reasons. One of which is I eventually want to purchase something and I don't want to go into it knowing nothing about what to know about a homeowner, being a homeowner. So I wanted to learn from the inside out. Meeting new people. I'm super excited to meet people, working for your own business, being the boss, working from home can get a little bit lonely. Not really lonely, but just you're kind of in a bubble, I'm ready to get out there again. I heard for those who I've talked to that are real estate agents that I've told them I'm getting into this, they're like, it's so fun. And that's super exciting for me. I feel like I need fun in my life and I can make fun out of my own life and my own business and all that. But the fact that I can make it part of my job and my career and I think I'm just ready for something new. So when I would have these thoughts of, is it worth it? I realized I was fixating on the current moment. I was fixating on how tired I was. I was fixating on how little time I felt like I had. I was fixating on, feeling like, oh, I'm not being able to put into the time and effort into X, Y, or Z. I wasn't fixating on the long-term goal. And that's the message for you guys today. It's that if you're struggling right now in your journey, if you're wondering if it's worth it, remember why you got started and picture your future self. Picture how you're going to look like, how you're going to feel like when it's all said and done, right? And so the thing that I think is also just an important takeaway is that you're never really done with, committing to a healthier lifestyle, but what you might be kind of quote unquote done with is shifting your mindset, creating the habits. And so, you're always going to have those touch ups here and there, but you're never really done. But there will be a time and place where you feel like, all right, I got this. I mastered this. I got this. I can focus on other things. I don't have to be obsessed about what I'm eating. I don't have to be obsessed about what I'm wearing. I don't have to be obsessed about what I look like and how I feel. Because I have the habits, I've developed the habits to just live a healthier lifestyle. I'm no longer distracted by the shiny objects. I'm no longer worrying or wondering, should I have done that? Should I do this? Should I eat this? When should I eat that? No, I've figured out what works best for me. And that's the journey that you're going to continue to go on and to be on. But it does get easier. It gets so much easier. And once you finally have the headspace and the energy to focus on other things, you do other things. And then that's the other part of the journey and the ups and the downs. But you're going to be able to do it that much better. So never lose sight of the goal, right? The goal is hopefully, everyone's different, but your goal is probably to be healthy, maybe get off some medications, maybe prevent getting on any sort of medications. Your goal is to be confident in what you wear and what you look like, regardless of your size. Your goal is to have energy. Your goal might be to hit PRs in the gym or run a half marathon or run a full marathon or whatever it is. Stay fixated on the goal, what your future, stay fixated on your future self, because the middle is always messy. No matter what goal it is, the middle sucks. But the middle is the work. You can't get to what you want to get to and where you want to go without the work. Hard things that are worth it take time. Things that are worth it require work and effort. Nobody ever just got to success and it was able to keep it and maintain it and sustain it from just getting lucky, and those who do just quote unquote get lucky, their successes fades. It usually is not sustainable. But those who've been putting in the work time after time after time, all those people that you admire, that you see on social media, the celebrities, the actors, the actresses, the musicians, the Broadway stars, all of these people I'm obsessed with American Idol and America's Got Talent. These people who go onto these shows have been working at their craft for years. They've been showing up day in and day out when it didn't make sense, when it wasn't paying the bills, when it was hard, when they were tired, but they didn't stop because they were passionate about where they wanted to go and they were fixated on it and they believed in themselves. And so I think that's the last part, guys, is that you have to believe that there is a new life waiting for you. Not a new life, but a new and improved version of yourself waiting for you. But you're not going to get there without putting in the work and without putting in the effort. Okay. And you're also, you might need support and guidance in order to get there too. So if you are feeling stuck, if you are in the messy middle and you've been struggling, you've been in the messy middle for a while now, and you're looking for clarity, well, then it's time to reach out for help, because there have also been times in this situation, give the real estate example. I know I just got to put my head down, get to work, study the damn thing and suck it up, because fortunately it's a crash course. Right? I'll be done. One of my tests is June 8th. The second one is, I think, June 21st. And I started April 25th. So real crash course, it's why I got into it, because I wanted this, but I knew by going this fast route, I was going to be sacrificing a lot of things in the meantime, but it's going to be worth it, right? And I don't even say sacrifice. I think sacrifice, it's not really worth it. Whereas a compromise, I feel like when you compromise your time, it's more worth it, but that's for another day. Anyways, so in this situation, it's short term. But if I was really, and here's the other thing, once I actually get my license and get my certification, I already know coaches I'm hiring. I already know people I'm going to work with. I already know mentors I'm going to go to. I already have them in my head. Right now, my brain is being occupied by information and I'm trying to study and all the things, but I know that the real work, the real lessons are going to be when I'm in the field. And I know that's when I'm going to need the most help and the most support. So that's when I'm going to hire the right coaches, hire the right mentors, be in rooms with the right people on purpose, intentionally, so that I can catch up, because I'm about to be 32 and there's people who've been real estate agents since they were 18 or since they were 21. I think 21. I think you have to be 21. That I should study. I need to look that up. There's certain requirements before you can become a real estate agent. But they've been doing this for, I'm about to catch up. And I know that the fastest way to do that is you can't rush experience, but you can hire people that have the experience and get there a lot faster. So why am I bringing this up? Well, because you guys know that we have the 6 months of food freedom program where you can work with a dietitian on my team who has been there, done that, and has helped thousands of people get to this place of food freedom, body confidence, and just killing it in life because they finally heal their relationship with food. They have balance in their eating habits. They're confident in who they are and what they bring to the table. And they no longer detach their weight to their worth. They're literally just living their lives and doing what they want because they're no longer allowing the food obsession and the low energy and the slow self-esteem and little self-confidence get in their way from being who they want to be, because they've squashed that. They've got that out of the table. So if you haven't listened to old episodes of testimonials, there's testimonials on my website, which I definitely need to update, but we've helped so many people go from this place of feeling unclear, stuck, frustrated, overwhelmed with information, not sure what to do or what to eat or how much to eat, to this place of just freedom. That's why it's called food freedom, because you have this confidence in your choices and you feel in charge of your choices and your way of eating and your way of movement and how often you sleep and how much water you drink and how you manage your stress. It's completely unique to you, because your dietitian is going to work with you and help you find your way of living a healthy lifestyle. So it's not going to look like anybody else that went through the program. Well, yeah, there might be some foundational things some simple things that, look similar. But at the end of the day, by the time you graduate the 6 months, you're going to have your way. And that's why it's sustainable. That's why it works, because we work with you and your lifestyle and your biology and your wants and your needs. And when you're struggling in that messy middle, which usually is around that 3-month mark, guys, that 3-month mark, by the way, if you look up most nutrition programs, they're 1 month, 8 weeks, maybe 2 months, which I think 8 weeks is 2 months, maybe 12 weeks, which would be 3 months. There are there are very little nutrition programs that have a minimum 6-month commitment. And the reason why we do that is because we need to unlearn all of the BS crapola that you've learned. Learn the healthy, happy, balanced eating habits that you need to be successful. And then make sure they're there to stay, right? A lot of people can follow something for a month, 2 months, 3 months, but it's that midway mark. It's that messy middle where things usually fall apart. And we are there to help you realize, nope, you want this. This is why you started, and you're doing it. You're doing it. You're making progress. You're making moves. It's not as quickly as you probably have seen in the past because we're making sustainable change. But believe it or not, the quote unquote slow way, the thing that we do, is actually the faster way, because now, rather it be another year or another summer, because we're getting into summer where you're feeling frustrated where you're at, you're going to, graduate from the program and start the new year. Because actually, this is right now I'm recording this. You're going to hear this. It'll probably be the end of May or June. In 6 months, if you want to, this is what I'm talking about, thinking about your future self. Think about you every year. If every year you make this New Year's resolution to get your health in order, or to lose the weight, to take care of yourself better, and every single year you have yet to do that, or every single year you feel like you're further than when you started, then you need to apply to the 6 months of Food Freedom Program. Like, you need to, because time is money, and you have probably wasted so much time and money up until this point. I actually, this is complete, guys, I guess I'm preaching because I didn't talk last week. I was talking with someone recently who was telling me that she had been doing Weight Watchers for 12 years. And so I was like, wow, 12 years of Weight Watchers, that's a long time, and feeling frustrated. And every time she loses the weight, she gains it back, and loses the weight and gains it back. And it's been 12 years and she's still struggling she's still on the struggle bus. This isn't to judge or shame anyone. This unfortunately is very normal. But I was like, I'm just kind of curious. Like, let me just see. Like, on average, I would say Weight Watchers is about $20 a month. So I calculated the math, 20 times 12 times 13. And I don't remember the exact number, but it was over $3,000. So over $3,000 wasted in 12 years to try something that seems, guys, also too, the cheaper answers are usually not the ones I'm going to tell you. It's like, you invest in quality. But for the amount of time, effort, energy, and money that has been wasted, accumulated over the years, when the reality is if she would have taken that money and invested in a program like the 6 months of Food Freedom Program 12 years ago, or even 6 years ago, she would have saved all of that money. And in the saddest part is that I know people who have done programs like that seem like the cheaper, healthier, better way, when the reality is that they'll do it for 20 years or 30 years and stay stuck. And they're the ones who feel like a failure because they can't. But here's the thing about Weight Watchers, guys, or any program out there. How do you change the point value of food? Food is food. There are calories. They have macronutrients. They do not change. The only way that changes them is their portions. But a calorie is a calorie. Your calories per gram for protein and fat and carbohydrates and alcohol, they're all set. So the fact that these programs are changing the value of food just goes to show that they don't want you to ever graduate. They don't want you to ever be free from it. If anything, they just want you to keep coming back. And they themselves haven't figured it out yet, right? But here's what I can tell you. The 6 months of Food Freedom Program has never changed. It's always been the same. And you're not on a program or in a program per se. You're not following something. You're literally working with your dietitian one-to-one to figure out what foods fit best for you. And if at a certain point you want to learn the value of food for what it actually is, we also educate you on that. So you'll learn a calorie for a calorie, a carb for a carb, a protein for a protein, a fat for a fat, alcohol for alcohol, fiber, sodium, all the things that you want to know about nutrition. You'll learn that, but you're not just going to learn it for what it is. You're going to learn it for how it affects your body, how it makes you feel, and what your individual needs are. All right. So that's the difference of how we are nothing like anything that's out there, any program that's out there. We are completely unique because we treat you like the unique individual that you are. Okay, I can keep ranting, but I'm going to be done. So with that said, if you are interested in working with a dietitian on my team, spots are limited. They do open up as people graduate, but at this point, I would say there's probably about 3 spots. So do not miss the opportunity to get enrolled this month, right? So yes, spots open each month. There's usually about 1 or 2, depending on, kind of our where people are graduating. But with that said, every single month that you are not applying, every single month that you are not enrolled is a month further away. You're getting further and further away from achieving your goals. So the sooner you get started, the better off you are. So make sure you go to tipswithtony.com/coaching to apply. Once you apply, I will review your application. We'll schedule a discovery call, which happens on Zoom. We'll get to know each other even better, even deeper. Make sure that it's a good fit for both of us, right? And then if so, I'll invite you into the program and you can get started. Honestly, usually when we have the discovery call within that week, you are enrolled and you're getting started, you're getting going, and you're already feeling more clear, more relaxed, more confident, more ready. And we are there to help you, to support you from the beginning, in the messy middle, and all the way to the end when you graduate. So if you haven't applied yet, go to tipswithtony.com/coaching to apply. And if you have any questions for me, do not hesitate to reach out to me on Instagram, or you can email me tipswithtony@gmail.com. All right, that is it for me today. Thank you so much for listening. As always, this is Tony Marinucci, registered dietitian, helping you get healthy one bite at a time.